How do I, 35 female, politely tell my friend, 35 female, I'm concerned about her health? Wait.
Okay, this sucks.
One of my very close friends of almost 15 years came and stayed with my partner and I for a little over a week at our apartment. One issue came up a couple times and both me and my partner are a little concerned.
I do not want to hurt her feelings and I know this likely will either way, but she's always been a bit bigger.
I do not care. My weight has fluctuated a lot in the time I've known her too, and I totally get it's normal to gain some weight as you get older. My partner and I were both kind of surprised when we saw her, and so were some friends and family.
She has gained weight to the point where she does not want to walk 2 blocks.
We had planned to take the bus to an event. The bus is around the corner, so a block and a half, and the metro is 2 blocks away. She was not happy about it and wanted to take an Uber.
We said no because I'm currently interviewing for jobs and we didn't want to spend the extra cash as there were 5 of us. She and I went to lunch 3 blocks from our apartment and she struggled with that. Same with going to the grocery store.
We visited a friend who lives in a walk-up and she was frustrated with the stairs. She went to meet up with one friend at the end of the time she was here, and instead of walking to meet her at a nearby park, 10-minute walk, it's 4 or 5 blocks, she had her friend come pick her up. We are very open with each other. She recently helped me with 2 different medical issues I had that are visible and embarrass me. If it were me, I would not be happy being talked to about it. The same way I was with the 2 things she addressed that I'm dealing with recently, but I knew it was coming from a place of her wanting to help and me needing the support.
Is there any way I can say anything or approach this?
If I have to keep my mouth shut I will, but it was pretty jarring and she has brought up other health issues more recently. Can I say anything? What do I say? Don't make it about her weight. Just tell her it worried you to see how hard it was for her to get around, and ask if she's talked to her doctor about it. If she says she's working on it, or gets defensive, don't push. Just reaffirm that you care about her, and hope she's able to find solutions that work for her.
She knows she's fat. She knows she's out of shape. There is no reason to point out the obvious.
If she wants to make a change, be there for her.
Take walks with her, make healthy food, etc.
But the desire for change has to come from her, just like a drug addict or alcoholic.
She knows. Once, I had a dear friend gently bring up my weight gain since high school after about a decade of not seeing each other. I did not appreciate it for the following reasons. 1. I knew I was overweight, 5 foot 6 inches 175-ish lbs probably. No other medical issues. 2. I don't like her attitude toward food, body image etc. And felt it projected onto me. 3. Honestly, none of her business. My appearance might change over time and that's my concern. It made me think less of her. Do you think she doesn't know that she is out of shape? Why would you think voicing your opinion about it is even remotely a good idea? You do not say anything about her weight. She is well aware. If she brings it up, there's your opening. If not, just don't. F30, M30 Should I leave my husband and move out of our home? 4th of July disaster, need advice. A few weeks ago, my husband and I hosted his family for a cookout at our new home. We were excited but nervous since it was only our 2nd time hosting. We cleaned, prepped, cooked, and set up fun outdoor games, wanting everything to go perfectly. The day arrived, and along with my husband's family, some of my friends joined. Everything seemed to be going great, even for me, usually shy and not the hosting type. Then, I had an unexpected confrontation with my husband's mother. She got nasty with me out of nowhere, which I attributed to perhaps too many drinks. She's known for her erratic behavior, so we usually try to ignore her. But this time, she pulled on me aggressively, demanding to take my 1-year-old son on a trip out of the country. This was her first visit to our home despite multiple invitations she had ignored. I calmly explained that while we'd love a family trip, I'd prefer either my husband or I to be present since our son is so young and she rarely visits him. This upset her, and she started cursing at my husband, calling him a disappointment, and even texted me cruel remarks about my recently deceased parents. Fast forward to the 4th of July, we decided to exclude her from the family gathering to avoid more drama. The day was mostly great, though my husband seemed a bit off. I had just found out I'm pregnant, which may have affected our intimacy, and I explained this to him.
After a long day, as we were leaving, my husband called me a bitch out of nowhere during a minor argument. This was completely unlike him, and I was deeply hurt. Our argument escalated, and he said something cruel about my mother, who was always kind to him and recently passed away.
In my anger, I made a comment about his mother. Shockingly, he punched me in the face.
Everything went black, I had a spinning sensation, and I couldn't see for a little bit. My head instantly hurt, and I was in disbelief and in pain, especially with our son in the back seat. He then took my phone and wouldn't let me leave, making the situation even more terrifying.
We pulled over, and the whole event was horrific.
Now, I'm newly pregnant and unsure of what to do.
Our house is in both of our names, and while he contributes more financially, I also pay for utilities and groceries. I feel alone with no parents to turn to and am lost about what to do with my son and pregnancy. Any advice or support would be greatly appreciated.
Edit. This happened late last night. I have booked a hotel for the night.
I'm currently in the house, and he'll be back from work later in the evening.
I am just trying to figure out what my next moves are.
I can't lie and say that I am not finding it very hard to leave.
Even though I know logically that's what I should do.
I have been with this man since I was 20 years old. Now, not having my parents or any relatives close to me, I feel like he's all I have. Seeing what his mother did make me think that this is clearly a deeper issue. He has gotten angry. He has yelled and screamed, he has pushed me once before, but it has never gotten to the place that it got to last night. I honestly don't even get what set him off, so that is making it harder for me to decide. I don't get why this happened. Things were going so well beforehand. Seeing what his mother did recently, makes me think that this is clearly a deeper issue. He has gotten angry.
I've always separated us from his family issues, but maybe that's not possible.
He's yelled and screamed, he has pushed me once before, but it has never gotten into the place that it got to last night.
We have already been in therapy.
He says he opened to more therapy.
He's been apologizing profusely and crying for his family to stay together.
I'm just scared to change my life so drastically. I posted in the comments, but it's getting buried. Update below.
Update. Thank you all so much for your kind words, support, and advice.
It really means a lot to me. It gives me the validation that I really needed. I have been gaslit a lot throughout this relationship, so sometimes it is hard for me to determine if this is something we can work through or is this the end of the road.
I don't want to get into my own childhood trauma, but I definitely will not allow for that to continue with my child.
I do not know what I will do about this new pregnancy. I am still very early in the pregnancy, so I do have options. I will be turning off or deleting this post soon. Just because it's been a bit overwhelming. Although again, I really appreciate everyone's support.
I know I have to go. Now I just need to focus and determine what my next steps are.
I hope everyone can understand how difficult it is to leave your home and possibly go to a shelter or be unclear about my housing situation for myself and my child going forward. Going from a 2-income home to one, where I make significantly less, does make me very financially concerned. However, I know I need to do what is best for the health and safety of myself and my child. So that is what I will do. Pray for me and my boy. Thank you everyone. Call the police and a lawyer. So sorry this happened to you. It's not going to get better. Normal reasonable people don't hit people. Wow. I second the police and lawyer advice. Apple did not fall from the tree. This is who he is. It took a while to find out, but he just showed you what he is. If you're considering staying thinking he will change, keep in mind that he may be hitting you now. Eventually it will also be your kids. United Way 211 can direct you to a local women's shelter. They have resources for legal, mental health, making a safety plan, childcare, etc. He assaulted you. You can file a police report and get an order of protection. You don't have to move out of the home, you will have to. But the women's shelter can talk you through all of that. You don't have to make a decision to divorce or not today. You don't have to decide to press charges or not today. But you do need to get safe and get support. In my 45F experience watching others go through this, once you've been hit the first time, it won't be the last time. It tends to escalate. And frankly, I don't know how anyone could trust someone after an incident like that. He physically assaulted you and called you names. He's all around abusive.
The safest and best thing you can do is call the cops and a lawyer and get the hell out of there with your son. He will hit you again. Now that you're pregnant, you are even more vulnerable for abuse and it escalating. UPDATEME.
Police, lawyer, now.
Abort that kid. Sorry, but it's for everyone's benefit.
He hit you once, he will hit you again.
Go to the police and file a DV report so they have it on file, then go see a divorce lawyer.
See if you can get in touch with any DV centers that can help you.
He will come with the, "I'm sorry, it'll never happen again," and the gaslighting. Don't fall for it. Leave and get our children away from this toxic situation.
I, 26 female, am pooping at his, 32 male, house. Embarrassed?
Lol, if there's any time to take me now.
I am a shy pooper, always have been even with family. Never even farted in front of him before. I am staying the night at his place and decided to wait until late, 2:30 a.m., to do my business. I came to the bathroom and it was mild but took a minute, and this man had the audacity to wake up asking me why I was in the bathroom so long like a child, but I ignored, pretending to sleep.
No kidding, like 3-4 minutes later I had to go again real bad, and this time I was loud, explosive, air bubbles, all the nasty things. I swear I flushed 5 times and taking 30-40 minutes because my body keeps fluctuating. This man comes knocking on the MF door asking if I am okay because he needs to pee real quick. I said 1 minute as I am writing this damn post, horrified. Why?
IDK. All humans do it. I can't. And the sad, shameful part is I can't even go to sleep pretending that wasn't me, because now I am apt to have wait outside the door.
I am still not done.
What I did do to deserve this, God?
Anyone else been in the situation before?
I am considering breaking up with him ATP because now he knows too much about me. Loudly crying. Girl, you holding in your shits is giving you those nasty ass poops.
Get that man some headphones, and then when you go to the toilet, blast music out your phone.
And let it rip. Then you won't have to do it in the dead of night, face holding back tears of joy. Yeah, when this happens you need to legally change your name plus social security number. If I were you, I'd just own it.
There's 2 top things that are attractive: beauty and confidence.
Own your shit, pun intended. Be like, here's the deal bro, my bowls went haywire tonight. I don't like it and I'm sure you don't either. But we're in this thing now. I'm going to go blow up your toilet again for the 8th time tonight, and I don't want to hear a goddamn condescending word out of you about it.
When this thing blows over, I understand if you want to go your own way. But for now, we need to step up and get through this godforsaken situation like adults.
Here are some earplugs. Now go get some sleep.
Do you think he doesn't know that humans, including you, poop? Jump out the window.
Scurry home and change your phone number. Stop eating Mexican before dates. I think you need to read the kids' book Everybody Poops.
In-laws want my 28M, son, 1M, to be in their 60s M&F cult. What the heck do I do? I am struggling with what to do here. I met and married my wife, and we have been married almost 3 years. We have a beautiful baby boy who just turned 1, and he is our whole world. When my wife and I met, she said that she was atheist, agnostic, and that her family was culturally Hindu. So they celebrate some of the holidays, etc. But as I got to know her family, I started to realize that her parents are not just culturally Hindu, and that they are part of a very specific sect of Hinduism commonly known as Hare Krishna or ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. As I did some research, I realized that this group is pretty obviously a cult and is best known for bothering travelers at American airports in the 90s and some sex scandals.
Not my definition, just Google it and that's all that comes up.
This didn't bother me when my wife and I met, primarily because I didn't know anything about it. She claimed to be agnostic, and we didn't plan on having any children, so the religion of her family did not seem very important beyond having basic common ethics. Now that we have a child, this has become a bit of an issue. My wife still maintains distance from this sect but now has decided that she is lightly religiously Hindu now.
The in-laws are what I'm having a hard time with.
My mother-in-law is pushing for my son to be raised in this faith, and I don't want him to be raised in this faith.
Here's where things get tricky.
My mother-in-law is now saying that all the religious rites, holidays and ceremonies are all cultural and not necessarily religious, so my son should participate in them, and surprisingly my wife agreed.
We are negotiating what that means moving forward, but I did have one hard line.
I put my foot down and said I don't want any religious symbols painted on my son, but my mother-in-law is trying to get me to let her paint tilaka and bindi on him. Religious symbols worn on the forehead. I keep saying no, but she won't let it go.
Now she plays her religious lectures loudly and sermons every time she is with my son, and told me not to get mad that he will learn this.
I am at a loss.
I'm incredibly conflicted because they are good people otherwise and adore their grandchild. We haven't had any issues besides this. I respect their faith and beliefs, but I don't want those views and that faith forced on my child.
Having a child has forced me to confront what I believe and what I do not believe, and I feel like my in-laws' religion is not something I agree with, and I don't want my son forced into it just because they are more stubborn than I am and because we are around them a lot, as I don't have a lot of families and the family I do have is not around much.
I am happy to discuss my beliefs in the comments if necessary to help give advice. I am not sure what to do about all of this. Sorry for the spelling and grammar, typing this out on my phone in a hurry. Too long, did not read. In-laws want my son to adopt their religious views. I said no, they won't let it go. Your issue is your wife, not your in-laws. You two need to get on the same page. Discuss with her till you get an agreement. Expect to have to be the bad guy with the in-laws. If the cultural aspects are important, perhaps consider looking up the local Hindu community, not the Hare Krishna variants, and seeing if they have public community events, festivals, holidays, etc.
It may be a good way to get your son involved and interacting with others in his culture, while limiting his exposure to more problematic sects. It could give him some familiarity with the beliefs and practices of his family and culture, allowing him to recognize the norm versus the cult versions.
Shut this down now. No religion unless both parents agree.
Your wife is getting sucked back into a cult, and they will all try to get you and your new child into it as well.
Shit is insidious. Put your foot down now and keep your distance from it.
Not just sex scandals, but serious labor trafficking too.
Most cults do some labor trafficking. Oh yeah, this construction project on the temple grounds is for God, so your work is an offering. Refuse, refuse, refuse. Tell them that you will let your child believe what they want to believe.
By your own words, it's a cult.
No cult. Not now, not ever.